Road Not Taken is a beautiful poem by Robert Lee Frost.
Robert Lee Frost, born on the 26th of March, 1874 and died on the 29th of January, 1963, was one of the greatest of American poets. He is known as the farmer poet because of his simple, realistic depictions of rural life and conversational style of writing. Frost frequently wrote about settings from rural life in New England, using them to examine complex, social, and philosophical themes. It is often the simplest of an ordinary man's experiences that is described through his lines. His poems are easy to understand, as they are written in a conversational style, without the pomp and grandeur of usual poetic style. However, there is always a different layer of meaning, a social and philosophical one, that we can explore deep. Road Not Taken. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry, I could not travel both, and be one traveler. Long I stood, and looked down one, as far as I could, to where it bent, in the undergrowth. Then took the other, as just as fair, and having, perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy, and wanted wear, though as for that, the passing there had worn them, really about the same. And both that morning, equally lay in leaves, no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this, with a sigh, somewhere, ages, and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Summary. Road Not Taken is a simple poem, typical of Robert Frost. Usually, Frost presents a simple experience in life, like swinging on the birches, traveling on a snowy evening, mending the wall, or apple picking. Here it is, walking through the autumn woods, and reaching a diverging road. The road diverges into two. One is a frequently traveled one, and the other is a rarely traveled one. The traveler has to make a choice. Which road should he travel? We all have to make choices in life, at one point or other. Most of us does not like to take risks in life, so we choose the easy way out. We like to play it safe. Swimming with the current of water is easier than swimming against it. Here, the lonely traveler has to make a choice. Which road should he select? The selection might be a final one, and though he wishes to travel both, he would never be able to come back and travel through the other road. He knows that the chances for it are slim. He was ready to take the risk. He selected the road that was not traveled frequently. It was grassy, and wanted wear. Not an easy road, and not an easy selection. The narrator was fascinated by the mysteries that lay ahead. He knew that it was a difficult path. Now he says that it has made all the difference in his life. Though he does not say if it was a good one or a bad one. The road that is not taken takes the center stage here, because it is what would have been. Robert Frost wrote this poem to make fun of the habit of his friend, Edward Thomas, an English-Welsh poet, who would often regret not having taken a different path. Thomas would sigh over what they might have been and done, and Frost thought this quaintly romantic. Frost's friend regretted not taking the road that might have offered the best opportunities, despite it being an unknown. Frost told Thomas, no matter which road you take, you'll always sigh and wish you had taken another. The road not taken is all about what did not happen. This person, faced with an important, conscious decision, chose the least popular, the path of most resistance. He was destined to go down one, regretted not being able to take both, so he sacrificed one for the other. Was the choice of the road less traveled a positive one? It certainly made all the difference, but Frost does not make it clear just what this difference is. Where does the traveler find himself? What problem does he face? The traveler finds himself in an autumn wood, facing a diverging road. He has to make a choice and select which road to travel. He finds one road frequently traveled, and the other less traveled. It once where and is grassy. He cannot travel both the roads at the same time. The choice is hard, and he selects the one less traveled by. It has made all the difference in his life. Discuss what these phrases mean to you. A yellow wood. The leaves in the woods had turned yellow, as it was the autumn season. It was grassy, and wanted wear. It was not a frequently traveled road. People rarely travel that way. So, it has overgrown grass in it. The passing there, because of frequent traveling through road. It has become a decent road. Leaves. No step had it trodden black. The path was seldom used, and it was full of grass. If it were a frequently traveled path, the fallen leaves would have turned black in color. How way leads on to way. The poet wished to come back and travel through the road that he did not take. But there would be no coming back, as the road he traveled lead him one road to other. It is something similar to the saying, all roads lead to Rome. Is there any difference between the two roads, as the poet describes them, in stanzas 2 and 3? In the second and third stanza, the poet tells us that one of the roads is not used for frequent travels. It was grassy, and wanted wear. It is a road mostly unused. It means that the road he did not take is the one people often chose to travel. It was an easy road. However, he decided to travel by the less traveled one. He preferred the uncommon path. In the last two lines of the poem, there is a little bit of regret in the tone of the poet about the road that he did not take, and what would have been if he had chosen it. It has made all the difference. His destiny was made. The choice was his. There is no going back. He knew it from the beginning. Still, he made the uncommon decision to tread the difficult path. He does not say if the choice was bad or good. After you have made a choice, do you always think about what might have been, or do you accept the reality? All of us have to make choices in life. Often, it is difficult. Sometimes, we are hesitant and afraid because of the consequences. Our courage deserts us sometimes. We let others make decisions on our behalf and regret it later on. But when we are left alone to make certain decisions, surely there will be a conflict in our mind, to be or not to be, a sort of Hamletian dilemma. But, unlike Hamlet, we may not be able to postpone our decision. However, after our choice is made, sometimes we think that the other option could have been made. Every choice has its after effects. It is better that we stick to our decisions once we have made it. Otherwise, we may waver in making the action. It may result in calamity. We have to learn to accept the reality and move ahead with it. There is no gain in brooding over our losses and what would have been.